Hello, everybody. I'm glad you're here today. Today is August 27th, 2024. In this video, we're going to be talking about a word I wrote down while I was worshiping this morning. It's very encouraging. It's very enlightening, and it has a great visual. So I think you'll like it. We're going to hopefully read out of the Bible in Colossians chapter 2 and 3. If we have time, I'm going to show you a prepping item. All right, I'm going to show you a prepping item, except I only brought two parts, not all of the parts, because I didn't want to lose any of them. I haven't found a box for them yet for this item. Not for them, but for this item. I haven't found I need to go to Dollar General and get me a plastic see-through box, y'all. That's my strategy now, just like something that's going to hold up. So I'm going to show you that. Now then, in the world, I can't make any sense of it, y'all. Politically, it's a train wreck. It's a clown show, all right? So I just put that in a box and put it on the shelf. I don't even pay attention to that. I think that the threat level is high. The FBI keeps telling us it's high. We keep hearing, some chatter. Is chatter a good word for it? I don't know. About, hey, the military's getting ready for this, or they're leaking this, or they're saying, hey, something's coming. And y'all, I don't know about you, but I can only stay braced for so long. And then I get tired of it. And I'm like, I cannot sustain this. No, of course not. I can't sustain it. Neither can you. And we're not supposed to be that way. Sometimes I fall into that pit, y'all. And the Lord dealt with me this morning, gently, kindly on that. In that regard, I'm not going to read you that part. That's personal. But I am going to read you something that was for everyone, I believe. I think it's for everyone to glean something from. So, yeah, y'all, I stay braced, but I still want to enjoy life. So I am trying to enjoy every little quiet thing I can. And the world has gotten, my world, when I go outside, it's a lot quieter. I think the birds have already started migrating, which is interesting. It's very quiet out there right now. So, so there we go. There we go. Now I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you, it's not a story. I'm going to tell you about rattlesnakes. All right, I'm going to tell you about rattlesnakes. Now, if you're new to this channel, I live in, I don't want to, go over all this for those of you who already know, but I live in the Texas Panhandle. It is hot. We do not get a lot of rain where I'm at, although we do get some, all right? So, we've got a lot of snakes. Rattlesnakes are prevalent, common. Let's say common. Rattlesnakes are common around here. So, that's just what we live with when we go outside. That's why I like to stay inside with my air conditioner and my TV. I'm not going to lie about that. A lot of people think, oh, wow, that's lazy. You shouldn't like to watch TV. I like to watch TV, all right? So I just do. And I give me a good show on there that makes me laugh or makes me, forget about the real world for a little bit. Yeah, I'm down for that. So, I'm just going to be honest with you about that. But when it comes to going outside, there is always the risk, especially if you live out in the country. I live right on the edge of this huge nothingness, a prairie. I live on the edge of the prairie. I truly do. And I get snakes up in my yard all the time. I get bull snakes. We had hognose snakes last year. We have had, of course, little grass snakes. Those are, nothing. And then rattlesnakes. Every once in a while, we'll get a rattlesnake. Now, I did have a rattlesnake on my driveway that I killed one time. It was a baby rattlesnake. I was like, you're going down now. If you cannot stand killing a rattlesnake, this is not your video. All right, you probably should exit now. Okay, because I'm telling you what I'm about to tell you. It's just the way it is here. Now, when you kill a rattlesnake, it is not uncommon to take the rattler off. Now, a lot of people, like a rattlesnake doesn't necessarily want to bite you, all right? But much like most animals, they have defense mechanisms. If you hear the rattle, you're in big trouble because that means it's cold. If you hear it before you see the snake, which a lot of times you will, that snake is cold and has his eye on you, all right? That's what that means. He's ready to strike. That's what that rattle means. The rattle is not the poisonous part. The venom is. Okay, now, I don't know if y'all knew that or not. But after you kill the rattlesnake, and you can kill it all kinds of ways. You can chop off its head with a hoe. You can shoot it with a gun. You can, there's just lots of, those are the two basic ways we do it. Run over it with a car. If you see it in the middle of the road, you better stop your car and back up and run over that thing, because if he goes out in that cotton field and there are people chopping cotton, which means weeding, then they're at risk. So that's how you handle rattlesnakes around here. But once you kill them, it's often the cool thing to do is to take off the rattler off the end of the tail. All right. Now it will still rattle. They're little bitty. They're nearly like tissue paper. I mean, they're really a thin material. Maybe like a fingernail. Maybe that would be a good way of putting it. And they're ridges, and for every rattle there is, it is my understanding that that's how old the snake is. So if you have a rattle that's got 7 rattles on it, 7 little pegs, and y'all can Google it to see what it looks like, then that snake's 7 years old, okay? And that means it's an old snake. So anyway, we have a friend who lives across the street. He's the blacksmith in town, in fact, and he has the shop. And people go, and farmers go, people go, men, the women don't. Men often go and just sit around at Kirbys. We're going to call it Kirbys, and drink coffee while he works. All right. And they do a lot of fun stuff. I mean, they do a lot of fun stuff. No, that's where, if you've been around farmers in the winter, it's slow time. All right. It's talk time. And so what they ended up doing, what Kirby did one time, is actually caught a bull snake, which is harmless, and actually tied on rattles on the on the end of its tail. And if that's cruel to y'all, it really isn't. And then turned it loose again and in the shop. And so when anybody ever saw it, he was like, "Oh, watch out for that rattlesnake." But it was really just a bull snake. Anyway, yeah, a little Texas humor there. Come on, you gotta be tough to live here, all right? So yeah, that's our life with rattlesnakes. I had an uncle, he's got passed on yet, he's a farmer, and they lived out in the country. If you sometimes you would open the front door, and on their porch would be a rattlesnake. I mean, if you're going to let your dog out, which we had a dog named Fifi, Fifi nearly came face to face with the rattlesnake that morning, and like met her maker, but didn't, because Uncle Gale went out the back door with his gun and kaboom, shot that snake clean off the porch. And then Fifi could go out and do whatever Fifi needed to do. So that's rattlesnakes, all right? And I tell you that because what I'm going to read to you is referenced, rattlesnake referenced. Now, if you get bit by a rattlesnake, it is this is what we do. And I don't, y'all may have to correct me, because some of y'all out there may probably know more about it than I do. But you can have liquid Benadryl, and if you can drink some Benadryl before you get on your way to the ER, I mean, that might help you. That's kind of what we do. Make sure in the summer, especially. So, yeah, and if they open up, there is antivenom that every ER has in this area. You probably just have a couple of vials. I think they're $10,000 each, if not more, to just crack open that. That's $10,000. Boom, right there. It's very expensive to have rattlesnake antivenom, and yet necessary, absolutely necessary. So you won't necessarily die of a rattlesnake bite, but you're not going to feel very good for a while. So that is rattlesnakes where I live, and let me tell you, you'll hear them before you see them. So that's the story for today. Hold on to that information. Now we're going to circle around to that in just a minute. But let me show y'all. For the first time in my life and in my husband's life, we decided to buy a chuck roll, all right? And it's part of the cow. I'm not even going to explain what part of the cow it is, all right? It's beef. And we decided to make hamburger, actually grind our own hamburger. I told y'all about this a few weeks ago, to see if we could do it, learn the skill. I'd wanted to get a meat grinder for a long time, but, we kind of thought, yeah, we'll be able to, we have access to a good price on hamburgers. So we were we were just going to do that and not worry about grinding meat. But then we figured out, we learned some things and we were like, let's get a meat grinder. Okay. So, oh shoot, I was going to look up what this is. I think Weston is the brand of this. So this is, I wanted a manual meat grinder. I'm only showing you two parts. It has a handle crank that goes on there and you crank it like this, okay? Now, it has a clamp, okay? And you need a pretty stout surface to put this on. If you just clamp it to the edge of your counter, it's not going to stay. Okay, or at least it didn't for me. It might for you. It didn't for me. We even got a like a screwdriver and crank that even tighter than what you could do with your hand. So, and even then it slipped. Anyway, we had to rig something up temporarily so it'd work, and man, we got it to work. But here is what we learned about this meat grinder. Here's the auger that goes in it. All right, and this is super, super heavy. I did not want an automatic one. An electric one. I wanted one like this, but I had a hard time being able to tell what is a good one, what is a sorry one. This one's a good one, and I believe Weston is the brand, y'all. Here's what we did to improve the hamburger making, and we've tested the hamburger. It's delish, all right? So here's what we did. I didn't bring you all the pieces, but you're just going to have to hang in there and pay attention. First of all, I froze this in the freezer before I used it. So I put it in a good hour, 2 hours before I was even going to grind the meat to make sure everything was cold. It was easier to grind the meat that way. We chopped the meat up in like 1-inch chunks, one by one, to go in this. Now, oh, this is so heavy. Now, I got this on eBay, not on Amazon. And because I couldn't find anything on Amazon I trusted, I'm like, I don't know. This was $54 on eBay, which I thought was a dang good, having to filter there. I thought this was a dang good price for a meat grinder, all right? So, y'all need to Google it yourself, YouTube it, go to the University of YouTube and figure out how to grind meat yourself. I'm not going to demonstrate this for you, but you can tell this is how it works, okay? And it is super heavy, all right? If this were to fall, the auger fell out one morning and nearly hit my toe. I thought, ooh, it would have broken my toe, no doubt. I did spray this with Pam before I started. I sprayed the auger with Pam before I started grinding the meat, all right? And I ground it 3 times. There's the little discs, and I went through the largest one twice and the smallest one once. And that worked for me. But y'all, you're good. Like I say, look up videos yourself. The last thing YouTube needs is someone else showing how to grind meat. Okay, there's plenty of people out there. So get one of these if you want to. You can also make sausage with it. You can also do cheeses in it, is my understanding. That, anyway, has a lot of uses. Excuse me. So $54. I thought that was a good prepping buy. For sure. And you can hear, look, listen. I mean, you hear how heavy that I'm dropping the auger on there. I mean, that's heavy, y'all. Okay. Yeah, it would have for sure broken my toe. It did dent my floor a little bit. I didn't tell Mike about that, but that's okay. He doesn't care about stuff like that. Neither do I, really. Nothing lasts forever, right? All right, let's go to what I wrote down this morning. On August 27th. Oh, there went that little thing. Do y'all ever keep little slips of paper in your journals? Like, hey, little things you write down and then you just stick in there. Anyway, my thing just fell on the floor. I have to get that before I leave my pantry. All right. This was, y'all, it does not feel like August 27th. Are we sure it's August 27th? I guess it is. Oh, by the way, I did the whole I have to do a little correction. When I figured in my last video, 444 days, I think I put in 2025 instead of 2024, which put me into November 2026. So really, here we go. 444 days from that day I did the video would have been November 12th, 2025. I tell y'all, I'm horrible with numbers. This is the truth. If there would have been a picture of that, I would have got it right. No problem. Okay, August 27th, 2024, 4:32 a.m. The backstory to this is a couple of nights ago, I felt I could not sleep. I woke up, I was wide awake. I sat up in bed, I just began to pray, and I just said, Father, what is there something you want to tell me? And I thought I heard him say strike force, strike force. And I thought, well, Lord, help me to remember that. Well, yesterday morning, I forgot to write it down. This morning, I was worshiping. Boom, there it was again, strike force. And I thought, okay, I'll write it down. So here we go. I asked him, did I hear you the night before last? You awakened me with a word. And here's what I heard the Father say. I know your heart of dread filled sorrow, the world of darkness ever present, strike force. These are the words I gave you during the night, like a rattlesnake coiled up with warnings of his imminent poisonous bite, rattling, ready to strike the ankle of threat. So it is now. Many nations are rattling, coiled, ominously warning. We strike with deadly venom. The cost of antivenom is high. Death is consequence of our strike force. Your nation's leaders belong to the pit of vipers, the fields full of rattlesnakes. Aimlessly, they walk on snakes, hurting some, killing others, making themselves the victims of strike force. The foolish folly of your pride-filled, obstinate rulers, they know not what they do. You, child, can see this foolishness, but only the edge of it. For the evil snakes, the field of vipers is deep, is long, is full. Therefore, fill your mind and heart with me. For I am the antivenom. I am the antidote. Take the full dose, for the strike force will be strong. You will need me in large quantities, for I bring healing to every poison-filled heart, if healing in me is desired. Faith over fear, love over hate, mercy over payback, forgiveness over debt. Hold on to these truths, my truths, when the strike force hits. The ways of your Lord are good sweetness among the bitter. My ways are life among death, clarity among confusion, strength among weakness, joy among sorrow, hope among despair. Seek me above all the noise. Seek me first. All will go well with you, for I am holding you above the snakes. You can hear their rattlers, but they will not strike you a death blow. For as I conquered death, so do my remnant. So physical death will come for all of us in some way, unless Jesus comes back and takes us while we're alive. I mean, but no one can kill us spiritually. We've conquered that. When we've conquered that when we gave our lives to Jesus and committed to him. Death has no power over us, nor did it. We will rise again and live in eternity with Christ in heaven. So here's what I want to bring to you. What time are we looking? Okay, good. Colossians 3. Actually, we want to start in chapter 2, verse 20. And really, I don't even know why they broke it up into chapter 3 here, the people who put the Bible together. But we're going to go on into chapter 3, okay? Because I think this chunk goes together, in my opinion. Now, Paul is writing this, and he's talking about, some of their celebrations and Jewish ceremonies. They're holding on to some things they don't need to hold on to. All right, so in verse 20, chapter 2, Paul says, you have died with Christ, and he has set you free from the spiritual powers of this world. So why do you keep on following the rules of the world, such as don't handle, don't taste, don't touch? Such rules are mere human teachings about things that deteriorate as we use them. These rules may seem wise because they require strong devotion, pious self-denial, and severe bodily discipline, but they provide no help in conquering a person's evil desires. Does that blow your mind? Don't hold on to the rules someone's telling you to do. Christianity is about faith and love and following in faith and repenting. It's a continual process as you walk with Jesus and letting the Holy Spirit lead you. All right, we're going to go on. Chapter 3, verse 1. Since you have been raised to a new life with Christ, set your sights on the realities of heaven. Set your sights on the reality of heavens, not earthly rules, y'all. Where Christ sits in the place of honor at God's right hand, think about the things of heaven, not the things of earth. For you died to this life, and your real life is hidden with Christ in God. And when Christ, who is your life, is revealed to the whole world, you will share in all his glory. See, these are the things we think about. All right? So don't get bogged down. If anything is being dominated over you, or be careful who you listen to. Okay? Be careful who you follow. Make sure you're reading your Bibles. When you love Jesus and are completely devoted to him, you will automatically walk in his ways. You need to read the Bible and learn what he taught. You need to listen to people you know that you are trustworthy, that are grounded Christians. Be careful who you listen to. But if you're feeling like you're jumping through hoops as a Christian to get forgiveness or to feel like you're getting grace, no, that's not what it's about. All right? Think on heavenly things. Think on Jesus. Keep your eyes on him. Seek him first. Everything. You're not going to be able, you will be recreated, but it won't necessarily happen overnight, y'all. It's a process. It's a walk. It's a walk. Some are further up on the path, and some are further behind you on the path. But my goodness, stay on the path. All right, stay on the path. All right. All right. I'm going to leave you with that. Do what you need to do with it. Stay safe, America. This is Gina Lima Charlie. I'm out.